these men will be punished most severely. And so you take this that he just said, and then you go to the next scene, and then it says, Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins worth only a few cents. Okay. So this is the verse that so let's keep reading. It said, calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she out of her poverty put in everything, all she had to live on. So this is talking about Christ looking at this woman, putting her last 2 mites into the temple treasury. We're not really looking at how grand of a gesture this is, even though he does point this out. Yes, it is a grand gesture, but he's contrasting this with the teachers of the law that devour their houses, right? So he's saying these people devour the houses of these widows, and then we see a widow who is an example of their house being devoured. And people often think, when I put in a small amount of money, God appreciates that more. Sure. But when I reflect this to the video that we just watched a young girl give her 2 little thanks to God, saying, my stepmom, I'm grateful for my stepmom. And then these religious people, which are the teachers of the law, because obviously they're commanding prophets and prophetesses come and pray and cast out demons. And so she's like, yeah, this is all I'm thankful for. And they're like, nope, you're possessed. We're going to cast out a demon out of you. So they basically just took her thanks and threw it out the window. A lot of people think this is God saying that the wealth of people who have much, it doesn't matter, which I don't think that's true. He's just contrasting that with someone who is being destroyed. Their house is being destroyed. What they have, the little that they have, it's being given to the church. And then can you imagine the teachers of the law standing in the background looking at this woman? They're probably like, yeah, look, we're worthless 2 mites. They're probably thinking the people who are putting in a bunch of money, their money is worth more, and all of that. They're all worth the same at the end of the day. Because in this example, hers is worth more in this context because her house is being destroyed, right? So this is the example of do not put down the person who has little. And we see that this little girl had little to give because in their eyes, her little about her thanks about her stepmom is not good enough. It's not good enough. And it's so bad that she has a demon inside of her that needs to be cast out.
A demon.
So these people are done. I think this church exposes how culture influencing the church is absolutely absurd. These women need to sit down. How are you going to walk up in the middle of the church service and tell this little girl that you're, in the name of Jesus, you're done? I don't understand. I don't think I ever will.